Live. Once again.
Grid-free live. So I've been seeing in the news a lot, as integrative medicine and alternative medicine starts to take hold and gain popularity. I've been noticing a lot of backlash from that as far as status quo groups, just attacking it, saying how dangerous it is and how awful it is.
Just taking random vitamins, natural.
Well, just, there's difference between taking vitamins and treating illnesses with herbs or homemade remedies, I guess, and I see both sides.
Right.
But I don't discount alternative medicines, herbalisms. I think it can be very useful and valuable. I think you have to know what you're doing. You have to know the plant. But, just like with regular medicines, you can have serious reactions to plants. Just because it's a plant doesn't make it safe. But it also doesn't make it evil either. It doesn't make it unsafe.
Right. It's like people will die from eating like peanuts.
People could die from eating peanuts. People could die from taking penicillin. People can, which is
or
natural.
Wheat.
Or wheat. Or, so I'm definitely a proponent of herbalism. But then again, I also believe in it as in nutrition. Not necessarily, the best way to cure a disease is to not get it.
Yes.
So nutrition is herbalism in a way. It is plants. It is, vitamins and minerals. And I just don't believe that there is a promise at the end of a prescription bottle.
But at the same time,
I don't say it's unnecessary either, because it does help people whose bodies just simply don't produce something, or it keeps people alive in acute situations. So I am neither for nor against. I'm for all of it. I think it all has a place, and I think that it needs to address the person as a whole, lifestyle and everything. There's reasons to use synthetic medicines and stuff like that. And those types of, procedures, but I think it needs to address the person as a whole and not just as the disease itself.
But you also have to realize that most doctors, they understand the alternatives too, because they're doctors. So they study this stuff.
You would hope, and
because, if you go to the doctor sometimes and you ask them, well, is there anything that I could do? They'll say, oh, yes, what you can do. Like, if you have type 2 diabetes and you go to the doctor and he's going to say, okay, we need you on this medicine, we need this, you're going to have to take this insulin, whatever. If you just ask him, okay, well, is there anything that I can do to help myself?
See, I would say...
And they'll tell you.
I would say yes and no. I have actually been to some doctors who are not at all like that. And I have been to some who are.
Right.
So I don't think that it's just blanket. You can say that they do or they don't.
Well,
I think it's very specific to the individual doctor. I went to a doctor because, my hands were going numb. My fingers down my arms. Okay? Didn't know why, especially if I were sleeping, my arms were up or anything like that. Didn't know why. I went to the doctor. I was in there for 5 minutes. He referred me to a surgeon to have carpal tunnel surgery. 5 minutes. Right. I had never been to this doctor before in my life. 5 minutes. I walked out of there thinking, that's anytime when there's a knife in my skin involved, to me that's a big step. So I went to a chiropractor. And I got an adjustment, and I've never had the problem since, and it's been years.
Right. Well, the same thing happened with me. It's quite the story. Anyway.
It's always quite the story.
I was boxing.
Tell them who your opponent was.
Okay, I was boxing, Boxing.
Tell them who your opponent was.
PlayStation 3. The move, okay? But I was boxing. And my trainer kept calling me these names, degrading me in ways, you can hit a little harder than that, And I tried harder and harder and harder, and I ended up
Throw it.
actually throwing something out, playing a video game. And it hurt. It was terrible for a couple of days, 3 days, and then finally, because I thought, at first, I'm a man, this will be no big deal. I'll get over it. Well, 3 days later, I'm still crying. So I break down and say, well, I'm going to go to the chiropractor, and I went. And even after the first session, it was just like, wow, the difference was like 50%. And then I had like 3 or 4 more sessions with him, and he did the alignment and all that stuff, and just kept doing all that stuff. And not only that, but he taught me. He's like, this is what you do if you have any ever have any problems.
Taught me how to.
This is the exercise you perform, and you can actually heal yourself by doing this. And I was like, really? Okay, whatever. I didn't really think too much of it. But then later on, a few years later, I was working or doing whatever, and I started feeling sore and hurting again. And I did them exercise. The next day I was fine. So now I know how to do the stretches and stuff to not have them injuries.
Yeah, and I was in a car. We were both in a car wreck a while back, and it kind of screwed me up.
Yeah, it knocked her unconscious.
I ended up having to go to 3 months of therapy, and I was still having days where I didn't want to get out of bed. I was in so much pain. My neck and my back was seizing up. I mean, I couldn't turn. I couldn't move. And finally, my doctor, he said, well, the last resort is pain management. And I was like, well, what does that involve? Shots, I guess, of cortisol or
cortisol.
Whatever it is
That's
they give
the
you.
normal. Yeah. I think they use it for migraines too.
Because he prescribed me some painkillers, and I don't do painkillers. I can't function on them. I cannot do painkillers, won't do painkillers. So that was the next thing was, we're just basically trying to manage the pain. Well, that made me uneasy. It's like, well, is there no way to get rid of the pain? So I walked out of there, and I decided to start taking yoga classes. I've never done yoga before. And it took the pain away. And now when I can feel it starting to stiffen up and get, because I guess I will always have the injury, but I just do yoga, and it works. So no medicines, no shots, no surgeries. It works. But again, I am not anti-doctor, not at all. Not anti-modern medicine. It saves lives. It helps people when possibly nothing else would have, and they would have died. It separates babies, and it's a wonderful thing. It really is. I just believe in a mixing of the two, a melding of the two, where it's the whole person. You have to take into account what they're eating and their lifestyle, and I do think that doctors are now more and more looking at that.
Right.
I don't think they used to. I mean, for a while. Not all of them, but in general. But I think that they are now. I think it's becoming popular enough, and people are asking enough, and they're not just discounting it as hocus pocus, and because you can go to the doctor and get a pill all day long, but if you're not willing to change what's probably causing it. In a lot of things. Now, again, there are things that...
Yeah, there are some things that...
And I have all of the respect in the world for doctors and nurses. And God bless them for what they do. So this is not that. I think a lot of it's lifestyle.
Yeah, I think it just needs to do... Just like they're stringent on modern medicine, they also should look at the natural stuff the same way, and group them together, say, hey, how can these work together? Or is it better not to use this and use this instead?
Yeah,
And it depends on the individual too, because 90% of it, or at least 70% of it, is in your head anyway.
And what you're eating.
Right, right. I mean, if you think if you believe that you take something and it will actually help you, well, and you actually believe it, truly believe it, well, it will probably help you because that's how your body responds. Because if your mind believes something, your body and everything else
But I
believes it too.
I don't believe that it's good to only treat a symptom.
Right.
I think you need to try to find the root cause.
Yeah, what's causing this? So ask the doctor, what is causing this issue? You know? And a lot of times they may not know. Well, we're not really sure.
Right.
So it's good to go get other opinions from a naturopath
or just any other opinions, because I guess there's doctors out there now that are coming around to that, and I guess it's the difference between being an atomist and a vitalist. You know, an atomist looks at just the symptom and cures just the symptom. You know, how can we make this symptom go away versus how can we, you know, heal the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe doctors are now getting, and nurses are getting more and more into the vitalist category.
Right.
But I have been seeing a lot of attacks on integrative medicine and alternative stuff because it is starting to become more mainstream, and I think that's not from doctors and nurses. I think it's more from pharmaceutical companies.
Well, and in the end, it should ultimately be up to the individual because it's your body, and you should be able to have complete control. You know, if you don't want to, if you choose not to go get that treatment for whatever reason, that's up to you. It should not be forcing you at all.
Yeah.
You know, if you say, hey, I don't want to do that, it's kind of like the whole do not resuscitate.
Yeah.
You know, if you choose not to be or not, that's fine. You know.
I mean,
that's just your choice. It's fine.
It's a
No big
choice.
deal.
There's nothing wrong with that choice, you know. Even if that choice leads to your death, that's, you know, I mean, again, but that goes back to what you think of death as, so, you know. So what else? So I've seen a lot of that in the news lately. I guess today's the Super Bowl. I'm not even sure who's playing, but I know it's the Super Bowl. Haven't worked on my basket. We have been messing around with, you know, we try to reuse stuff, and we try to get as much stuff as we can for free, because why pay for it if you don't have to?
Yeah, I mean, our walls are made out of, what, trash, junk?
Yeah.
What do they call it? Old bottles?
Old bottles
cans.
and tires, yeah. So on Craigslist, they have the free category, and that's really a good resource. I don't know why, I have a thing about looking at classifieds. I don't know. I don't know why. But anyway, so I'm always looking at classifieds for, you know, like puppies and chickens. So I saw that there's this company up in the nearest decent sized city, which is about an hour away north of us, and we had to go there anyway because, you know, it's, again, the only place that there is certain stores you can buy anything at. So we went up there this weekend, and we went by this place, and because they had posted on Craigslist that they are giving away a bunch of pallets free, you know. So we went, and we've loaded up the pickup with some pallets. So we're going to use this, we're going to break it down, and he's going to do a compost bin, and I'm hoping he will build me some planter boxes for my kitchen windows out of it, if there's enough left over.
Oh, yeah.
But why don't you tell me about the compost bin you're going to build?
Well, I mean, you can look on the internet and YouTube and stuff and see, you know, where a lot of people have built compost bins out of using pallets, which is fine. That's what we're going to do. But I'm just going to take pallets. These are they're not your standard pallet. They're kind of short. They're only like 2 foot tall.
They almost remind me of a ladder, but with pallet wood on them.
Yeah, it's just it's more of a rectangle than a square. It's not a square pallet. It's a rectangle pallet. It's probably about 3 times. They're probably about 6 foot long, 2 by 6 or something, 2 foot by 6 foot long. But that's fine because you know, we don't have a lot of. I mean, it's only 2 of us,
yeah,
so we don't need a big 4 foot by 4 foot bin. Yeah.
And when we get the chickens, it won't even be that much.
Yeah, and then when we get chickens, we'll be feeding them a lot of it, and probably most of it. But until then, because that was one thing that we have been thinking about doing is meat chickens for meat.
Because we eat chicken.
Because we eat a lot of chicken. So my idea was to get, if we got like 30 birds or so, we could have them and then raise them for during the summer, the spring and summer. We could get them, raise them to full size, and then process them,
and then freeze them. Which means getting a freezer, chest freezer in the root cellar, and hooking that up to some solar, letting it.
Yeah, we gotta get electricity
out to the root cellar.
I mean, we could do it. I mean, I can run an extension cord into it.
Yeah, but I'd rather.
But I have another charge. I have another.
Charge controller.
Yeah, controller, the charge controller, and the inverter that I can use for that, and then we can hook up another 24 volts.
Yeah.
It's just a 24 volt. I think it's a 3,000 kilowatt inverter.
So that's a project for later on this summer, I guess, or something. But we are gonna get the compost bin going here soon, since now we have the wood. I have pictures of my orange tree. I want to show off my orange tree. So we planted it, I guess it was 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 or 3?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And I'm really proud of it, and I'm really excited because it's just growing like a weed. So as you can see, all of the here, point to the leaves. So all these little bright green leaves, all of that is new. Even the stalks that they're on is new. It's exploding.
Yeah, it's really, really taken off.
I am just so excited about that. Because I wasn't sure. I mean, anytime you transplant something, especially a tree, there's a chance it goes into shock and it doesn't work. And hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll have pictures of our indoor lettuce bed.
Yeah,
with the aeroponics that Charlie built, because it's really starting to grow. We have 7 baby plants already sprouted, and then 2 I just planted last week, some remain. And then we have some onions and a cabbage plant, a mystery cabbage plant of some sort. And the interesting thing about this is one of the lettuce plants is called a tennis ball. I have tried and tried for years to sprout this lettuce plant. I don't know why. It's like a miniature plant, and I think miniature things are cute. Sue me. So I have tried, and I have not been able to get this thing to even sprout. Well, we have one that has sprouted. So, first shot in this aeroponics. So I'm excited about that. My little mini lettuce plant.
Yeah, what was the name of that?
It's called tennis ball.
Tennis ball lettuce, that's right, tennis ball.
Just have not been able to get it, not in Texas, not here, But in this aeroponics, it has finally sprouted. Yay.
It's aeroponics. In other words, it sprays water on the roots. And it does this, have it set up where it does it once every hour and a half. It comes on for 5 minutes.
But he'll be doing a video.
And yeah, I'll do a video
on
it,
an in-depth video.
Showing it and everything like that. I'm just waiting for the results because I want to show the results, and so people can see, oh, okay, this is the results, and this is how I built the system.
Yeah.
And they can copy me or take some of my ideas and modify it for their own.
Because ours uses the fish water.
Yeah, it's an aquaponics, really.
Aquaponics, aeroponics setup.
That's what we use for nutrients and stuff. Is
the fish water.
The fish water. It goes in the fish water and then it overflows into a gravel bed, and then from that gravel bed, it's pumped. The water's pumped out and sprayed onto.
And that leaks back into the gravel bed, which eventually ends up in getting pumped out into the fish ponds.
Right. So it basically just gives, every hour and a half or 5 minutes, it just gives the roots, only the roots of the plant, a little bit of water.
It is an experiment, and in this case, these plants are babies, so the roots have not come out of the ground.
They are.
Or the dirt.
hanging
Oh,
down.
are they?
Yeah,
On the
they're
first
hanging down.
ones?
A couple of them are hanging
Oh,
down,
okay.
yeah.
So we'll see as the
Just
plant
starting.
gets bigger and the roots are more exposed.
You know, I've done, like I said, I've done
You've done two
regular aquaponics.
Two regular
We've done
aquaponics,
that.
a small fish tank one, and then a big one in the
Right,
backyard.
and that worked awesome. It worked great. And then I've also done
A cracky.
hydroponics with the cracky
method.
And that's basically where the
And
plants
that
just sit in the water.
Really worked well in Texas.
Yeah, that works really good in Texas. where it's
Really
hot.
well. I mean, we had he has a picture of his plant. It's massive, and it was only 4 weeks growth. Remember that?
Yeah, it was like
It was
30
huge.
days.
Yeah.
It was like 30. I think it was like 32 days or so.
Yeah.
And I mean, the plant
4 or 5
was,
weeks, yeah.
you know,
It was
about
big
this, and there was
and
two of them.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't have as much luck with that here, you know, in the house.
Well,
And
no, that's because
I don't think it was the method. I think it was just our setup.
Yeah, it was my setup because I didn't. Because you have water level and the water wasn't really. It wasn't high enough and to absorb water into the actual cup to get them started. So we're having major problems getting them started because it wasn't getting any water really,
And then because
and they would just dry out.
and then because it's in right at the windows in the sunlight,
Yeah.
it was just frying them. I mean, they were just.
Yeah, it was just they weren't getting enough
We just
water
had a bad
and
setup.
they were getting too much sun at the same time. I mean, really, lettuce is full. It can take full sun. I mean, it's a full sun.
Yeah, but it can't take getting
It
hot
can't get
without having
blasted
enough water.
with no water.
Yeah.
On especially on the roots, it would just want to bolt.
You know, and this comes from somebody who, when we first got together and until I started gardening, Wood just did not like to eat lettuce. Didn't like to. Store bought, wouldn't eat it.
Yeah, I didn't because it's just.
And so I finally started growing some, and he started eating it, and now he's, becoming a lettuce farmer. It's just, the taste is just so much better.
Yeah.
It has taste. That's the difference.
Lots of taste.
Let's flip over that one.
So that way we. What do you want?
Oh, just see if there's any questions or anything. Okay, so. Yeah, so we've been working on the garden. We still have a lot of work to do on the other side, which I really need to get going because even though it's February and there's still snow on the ground, the sun is out more, and so in our house it's more like spring, so it's definitely gardening time in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And again, living in an earth ship, that's the biggest thing for me. I even feel like my mood is attached to the sun at this point. When it's gone, I'm like, I want the sun. And when it's here, I'm like a plant. I'm like, following the sun throughout the day. But that's pretty much what's going on this week.
What else? We did something. There was something else, wasn't there?
Kitty litter.
Oh yes.
Because we have a cat. And neither me nor the cat like the store-bought litter. It's very chemically smelling. It's just so strong, and just the smell of the litter itself has such a chemical smell, and the cat prefers dirt. So
when we lived in Texas, he didn't even use a litter box.
no, he went outside.
He went outside. He went out the dog door. He went in the backyard. And he was out there all the time. Here, he doesn't go outside.
No, because predators.
Because we have coyotes. We have
owls.
Hawks. Well, I wouldn't really worry about.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but coyotes.
Cats. We also have.
We also have
cats.
Yeah.
Mountain lions or
bobcats
cougars,
and mountain
whatever you
lions.
call them. What do they call them here? Mountain lions or cougars? I think mountain lions.
Mountain
they
lions.
call them here.
Is what they call them here.
Okay, so mountain lions. We have mountain lions here.
So we just don't let him out. Now, I mean, I've let him out because he does like being outside in the evening, and so we've let him out sometimes when we're out there with him. But he's not allowed to go out himself.
And now he's a lot older.
Yeah,
now.
he's pretty lazy now.
So he's just lays around, sleeps most of the time.
But so we make his litter, and we make it out of ash and sand.
Yeah, we take sand. Like I use 2/3 of sand to 1/3 of just like wood ash from fireplace or something. And
No
mix it
odor?
up. And that the ash actually absorbs the odor, the ammonia smell. You know, it just so it doesn't smell at all. The only drawbacks to this is it is heavier than your normal litter. It is heavier, and
it compacts more.
It compacts more. Yeah, it does a little bit, but I mean, it's still manageable. Especially that when you put the ash into it, that really helps on the moisture.
Yeah,
and mainly the smell, mostly the smell, but the moisture too, and it doesn't seem to bother him. He likes it.
No, he likes it. There's no chemical smell. There's no cat odor from the litter box itself. The ash takes care of that, and then disposing of it. You know.
Right.
We're not throwing kitty litter, which
we don't have a dumpster, so we can't just go out, throw it in the dumpster, and forget about it. You know, just we
just take it out into the woods and dispose of it. But it's like any other animal, you know, and so we're not using synthetic stuff, so it's better in disposing of it if you're going to dispose of it the way we do.
It works great. It really does.
So yeah, that's pretty much what we've been up to. We're just getting ready for spring. More planting. I've got some seeds I'm going to order. I want to get some celery seeds. Because they don't start selling many, you know, I mean, they start selling some seeds, but around here you have to wait till May.
Yeah, because, you know, you don't plant anything outside until May.
Mid-May.
It's like, what, 3 months? May, June, July, and August is really the grow season here.
Well, in June, you have hail.
Yeah, you
and
can.
Where we are, it's hard to grow stuff outside.
Yeah.
Between the wind, the hail, you know, we may get our greenhouse up, maybe. We have a greenhouse we're going to put up. So that's the projects that we are starting on now. So hopefully we'll have some more videos about that. Other than that, the sky is blue, the sun is out. It's been beautiful weather, and you know, nothing major has happened. I think Charlie's been working on a video over the electric.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of, like I said, I'm waiting on the aeroponics because I'm waiting for results on the plants, you know.
Yeah, and so now as spring is coming and the sun is out, we will have more stuff going on, I think.
Yeah, we were planning on going to
interviewing other people who live off grid.
And because we now, I mean, once you start doing this, you start meeting more and more people that are off grid.
Because everybody does it differently. You know, there's so many different ways of doing stuff.
It's like anything else. There's really no wrong way of doing it. It's just however you prefer is fine.
The only wrong way to do it is to not do it if you're wanting to do it. That's the only way you can do it wrong, by not doing it at all.
Right.
So that's about it. Not a whole lot to talk about, I guess. Just upcoming projects. We got our free wood. Craigslist is really a good source for free stuff. So I guess that's that. My orange tree's doing well.
And we got. Do we have any strawberries that have started? I've noticed there were some flowers.
I think we have some. I don't know if they're going to completely make. It just depends on how much sun it can hit.
Right.
You know, they may not make it, but the plants are going strong.
We could have some strawberries.
We could have some strawberries soon.
And hopefully we'll have berries. The berry plant, blackberry plants.
Raspberry.
I know the raspberries are doing good.
Raspberry plants are doing good.
So, anyway,
that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot going on this week.
Yeah, we don't have not too much going on this week. Oh, but we're going to get that. Plan on getting that compost bin built here. So.
And hopefully the other side of the indoor garden bed, where the potatoes are growing.
Yeah.
We need to do something with that.
Well, that's another thing I can use them for, is I can make a box and
Yeah.
so that we can.
Yeah, if we have enough. I mean, I don't know how much it's going to take to make the compost. So yeah, garden projects certainly coming up.
And well, I guess that's about all.
That's about it. Here, flip over to the.
Let's see if we got anything. I don't think we do.
Anybody have any questions or anything? Thank you for watching, and hope you all are doing well. That's pretty much it. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, we'll see you.
Bye. Enjoy the Super Bowl if you're watching.
Yeah.